Sampras to serve. Well, he apologises, but the reactions are pretty quick.
A good-looking backhand this from Kuerten early in the match, really winding up on his technically his best stroke. Kuerten won the spin of the coin, elected to receive, and hoping to catch Sampras like that, but not to catch Sampras mishitting the ball in.
First ace from Sampras.
Served 16 against Leighton Kuerten at 3-setter.
Well, cranking up the serve already at 126 miles an hour. We certainly see Sampras get over the 130 miles an hour mark. Sampras holds to 15 in the first game of this best-of-5 set final. Now, we had a look at the Kuerten camp a little while ago. And there's the Sampras corner. Paul Annacone on the right of your picture. The man in the middle is the stringer, Nate Ferguson, and the man on the left is Walt Landers, the man we saw stretching out Pete Sampras in the locker room earlier. Love one, Kuerten serving.
Well, it's always natural for Sampras to chip that backhand down to the backhand side of the right-hander, but Kuerten's backhand really looking good. Not hitting it with full power there, but with masterly control. Hasn't lost his serve in his last 2 matches, Kuerten.
And he can go either way with it.
30-love.
Well, getting down very low to this, and Sampras might really have to adjust that and perhaps come in more to the Kuerten forehand, which is not as solid.
Well, interesting there that Sampras did not chip and charge behind the second serve. Kuerten hasn't got a first serve in, but he's won all 3 points. Love game for the Brazilian.
1 game over.
And an interesting play by Kuerten there, just lobbing that ball in at 103 and looking to serve volley. And obviously a tactic he's going to employ every now and again, say when he's well up and feels he can afford to lose the point, but just to break the Sampras rhythm down and come in more certainly on that Sampras backhand side. I think that's a clever move. I wonder if during the course of the match Sampras might wear a cap. He certainly did against Lepenti. Just see there, one of the problems for Kuerten with Sampras rushing him, he generally just likes a bit more time for his ground strokes because of that long swing and long arms.
There are a lot of amateur line judges in the crowd. We can expect to hear quite a few whistles.
40-50.
I think even they're going to have to accept that that was out. First double fault of the match, 24th of the tournament for Sampras. Kuerten has served 18. Serve dominating at the start of the match. We've had just 2 points against the serve in the first 3 games, and Sampras leads 2-1. Well, Gustavo Kuerten just going around and getting some drinks, so let's concentrate on Pete Sampras for the moment. Would be a... Oh, well, Gustavo's getting in the way. Now, steady on, Gustavo. You're making life very difficult for our director. There he is, Gustavo Kuerten. It's only his second hardcourt final, but he does make a habit of getting to the big ones, because the other one was also a Master Series event, the Canadian Open, where he also lost to an American, Chris Woodruff.
Also lost to an American. That's presuming, perhaps, but also played. I think
I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yes, I think certainly Sampras is most people's favourite to win this, but I've been impressed with the way Kuerten started, particularly on the backhand side, looking fairly at ease, which of course is important.
Gustavo Kuerten, deep in thought. 8 minutes have gone so far. And it will be Kuerten to serve at 1-2.
Thank you.
Well, I had the feeling Sampras was in fact trying to chip away the into-out backhand away to the Kuerten forehand, and therefore the miss hit. Kuerten's won an impressive 81% of his service games here. It's a little higher than he normally strikes. Actually foot faulted there, I think. Only lost 7 points on his serve in that first set against Agassi, but in many ways I think we should discount the match against Agassi because he was far from fit. On the other hand, it will have given Kuerten an enormous amount of confidence, that win.
Sampras continues to attack the backhand and this time gets away with it.
15-30.
Well, it was a quick serve, 122 miles an hour, but it was back at Guga's end rather more quickly, but just out. Well, Kuerten finding himself in no man's land, neither up nor back.
Deuce.
I think he probably changed his mind a little bit here, Kuerten. And of course it left Sampras the opportunity of hitting with power on that forehand and also hitting beyond Kuerten, who was in mid-court.
Now that's a clever variety that Sampras may have learnt from his mate Tim Henman, chipping it short.
Yes, I wonder whether he really intended it to be that short, but it's the perfect ploy, in fact, because Kuerten's having to dig it out.
Break point for Sampras.
Well, there was a time even last year when Kuerten on those forehands cross-court could not be certain of making them. He really has improved it a lot. This week it's been quite noticeable.
Well, there's the vulnerability on the forehand side and no great pressure there, other than knowing that this man's down the other end of the court. Second break point. It's long! I love the way Sampras gave a little jump to help the half volley over the net. And it's Sampras who gets the first break and a 3-1 lead.
Well, it's such opportunistic play by Sampras. He wasn't coming in. Then when he saw that Kuerten was on his back foot, deciding to come in, getting caught and playing, of course, a phenomenal half volley drop shot. The sort of shot that Carlos Moya plays so well. Great bit of opportunism there by Sampras. That, of course, Kuerten's first loss of serve in 3 matches.
Sampras lost his serve twice against Leighton Hewitt and twice against Andreas Vinciguerra, and that's it during the tournament. He's lost his serve just 4 times.
Well, the play of the right-hander tends to go much more automatically cross-court to the backhand of a fellow right-hander. And of course, Kuerten won't object to that at all.
Huge swing on that serve from Sampras. A mere 106 miles an hour, 173 Ks, but it was the placement that was important. His second ace.
It could be a very important serve for him during the course of the match, that one out wide.
Now, did a string go on that second serve? It certainly didn't sound too good. Can't quite tell whether a string went, but if it didn't go, it's just about to. So his first change of racket of the match. We ought to keep a log of this. What's the most you've ever seen him get through in a match, Fru?
Oh, I would estimate about 7 or 8. Very thin gut, very tautly strung.
Temperature up to 86 degrees on court. Yeah, don't see a broken string there, but obviously not satisfied with the tension. That time he didn't get that serve wide enough, and the half volley wasn't deep enough.
Yes, making it fairly comfortable for Kuerten on the return. He really didn't have to stretch that wide, and once again, the backhand producing.
The first break point quickly snuffed out.
And that's the reason why I say the serve on the right court and also the one to the forehand on the left court will and may become very important in this match, because as he finds the Kuerten backhand working as well as it has, there may well be just a little bit more concentration on the forehand side.
As you were saying, third ace. Four in a row to the forehand, and already 4 aces from Sampras, and a 4-1 lead in the first set after 18 minutes. Well, now then, this final is being showed on well over 100 countries. The sunshine, you can just see the commentary boxes there in the distance, the glass screens, that's where we're hiding behind, as well as our German and French and of course American colleagues. Plenty for Gustavo Kuerten to ponder. Pete Sampras has come at him so quickly. And Pete just muttering away to the ball kids, telling him what he wants in terms of drinks and I suspect cold towels. Pete Sampras bidding for his third title here, leads 4-1 in the opening set. The Brazilian fans, though, are not disheartened. There's the commentary box of our Fox colleagues. Well, it was there until those are the French colleagues. There we are. Bonjour, mes amis. Comment ça va?
You notice Kuerten trying the similar serve to Sampras, but he just doesn't have the swing that Sampras has available in that wide serve. He could if he practiced it. It's obviously a bit of a tactic of Kuerten to kick quite a few to the Sampras backhand side. It's a smart move because Sampras does find difficulty getting on top of the very high bouncing ball. One of those effortless forehands by Sampras. In the end, it was the forehand that won him the match against Leighton Hewitt. Not so much the serve. Just a few aces in the final set, but the forehand was brilliant.
Well, if Sampras starts striking his backhand as sweetly as that, then Kuerten is in for a very long afternoon, or in fact, it might be a very short afternoon, a very difficult afternoon. Point for the double break. Oh, nice touch.
Well, the delicate touch of the clay quarter, perhaps not that people who play a lot on hard don't use it. We've seen Agassi play it so successfully, but very much more a clay court speciality, the drop shot.
Again, the Sampras backhand down the line, and well, the frustration beginning to show.
Well, he tried serve volleying at 40 love earlier on. This may be too big a point for him to do it on, not being that much in practice at it.
Oh, Sampras, terrific stuff.
Well, even though he knows that the Kuerten backhand is firing a lot better than the forehand, coming in with this finely struck shot and a beautiful bit of wrong footing, not hitting the ball with too much power, seeing that Kuerten with his long legs is going to be making his move to his right, and just laying the wrist back here and tapping it. Nothing more. It was a gentle bit of woodpecking.
Serving for the opening set at 5-1.
15 love.
5 aces.
There's likely to be a lot more whistling if Kuerten just gets his teeth into the match a little bit more. The crowd not very backward in coming forward when it comes to whistling and making their feelings felt. When Rios was in the final here 2 years ago, there was quite an uproar.
Thank you. Please enjoy the tennis as we fix the scoreboard.
The scoreboard is wrong. Our computer, I hasten to add, is all right.
Left.
And the applause is for the scoreboard on court catching up. We're taking a long time there and also feeling the back a little bit. And promptly coming up with another ace out wide, that time off a second serve.
30-15.
Yes, he served 2 against Hewitt on second serves. Sort of second serve that most people dream of for their first serve.
Oh my word, 7 aces, 2 set points.
15.
That's as good a set as Sampras can play.
6 games to 1.
8 aces, 13 clean winners, and after 28 minutes he has the first set by 6 games to 1. Well, Pete Sampras has the opening set 6-1, but I don't think Gustavo Kuerten will be panicking just yet, because he was match point down in his very first match here. This was against Arnaud Clément. Kuerten was serving at 4-5 down in the final set. Missed the first serve. That was long, and Kuerten had survived. And how often does it happen that someone who saves a match point early in the tournament goes all the way through the tournament? Well, Fru, I'm not surprised that Gustavo is thinking hard out there, because he's facing a great champion at the top of his form.
Yes, and a typical pose for Kuerten, chewing away on his towel, a little bit like a comforter, I suppose. And he might take comfort in the fact that he hasn't served too badly. I know his percentage isn't all that good, but Kuerten's percentage, for instance, against Agassi was 36%, and yet he himself said he served particularly well. It wasn't that he scored that many aces, but the serve worked for him at the important stages, and he was able to hold Agassi back. And he's going to find it a lot more difficult to hold Sampras back, there's no doubt about it. I think what the most he can wish for is perhaps every now and again a couple of double faults from Sampras in a row, that sort of thing. And somehow, though, he's got to keep him out there a lot longer. And Sampras looking to finish the points off very quickly.
Ready for play.
New balls in play. Here we go with the second set. Well, I was going to say, what a good backhand from Kuerten.
Well, if you've got the new balls, really, it's important that you get the first serves in, because the opposition can really use it to his advantage, both on producing a bit more power and also a bit more feel. Sampras undoubtedly liking a faster ball.
Well, problems mounting. Already a set down and now love 30 down. And those of you who've been watching throughout the tournament, sorry we couldn't bring you the set stats. Our computer's blown up on us. First ace of the match for Gustavo Kuerten. It was wide.
15-40.
2 break points.
Well, he did well to resist, didn't he? He must think when he misses that first serve, here comes that man again. He might well use occasionally the serve out to the forehand side.
It's good effort from Kuerten. Really, you sense he must hold this game, because Sampras is just threatening to steamroller straight over him. Well done, Gustavo Kuerten. Manages to hold serve from 15-40. And he has the opening game of the second set. There are the trophies, the Ericsson Open Trophy on the left of your picture, the Masters Series Shield in the centre, and the runners-up trophy on the right, all by Waterford Crystal. And lovely trophies they are. And that's the perpetual trophy that will remain here in Miami. The champion will get a replica. At the moment, looks as if the name Sampras is going to go on that trophy, but early days.
I think he was caught in two minds there, Kuerten, thinking of the keeping it low cross court and also thinking of lobbing. Well, there's always a lot more movement on Kuerten's part because he's a bit like that. He's a bit rubbery, but he played that nicely out in front of him. Kept the right wrist firm.
Well, Sampras displaying his slam dunk, but I think through he didn't need to. That was going wide, wasn't it?
Well, perhaps he's practicing for some doubles match. Who knows? Maybe they'll use him in the Davis Cup. Incidentally, the doubles here yesterday is won by Woodbridge and Woodford, and today is Todd Woodbridge's 29th birthday. So, on all counts, well done to the Aussies. Well done to him.
Yes, they beat Dam Dominic Herbati in straight sets, and I think from memory through that's their 57th title, which means they're one short of the all-time record, held by you and Bob Hewitt and jointly by Peter Fleming and John McEnroe.
Time for a bit of kneecapping, I think.
Yes, I think so. Well, Pete Sampras making a really difficult low volley looked so simple. Gustavo Kuerten will serve at 1-all.
The wind, incidentally, up high today is coming from Kuerten's right, coming in from the Atlantic, in other words, but down on court it tends to take a very different channel. In fact, on court, generally when the wind comes from the east, as it is today, it blows from Kuerten, where he is now, towards Sampras. Whereas for the past few days, the wind's coming from the other direction above, but on court it's come from Sampras towards where Kuerten is.
Well, they're ideal places to play these drop shots from because he's well inside the court and he possesses a natural clay quarters touch. And from playing it that far up, of course, there's so much less time for Sampras to recover and run it down. Kuerten convinced the serve was good, and he's right. Ooh.
Yes, it seemed to get a bit of line, and I think that showed that as well, just briefly.
Yes, now we're having computer problems today, aren't we? Here's our virtual reality machine on that disputed call again. Ah, well, now that's got me puzzled because the last one was in and that one's out. Ah, well, we'll get there in the end, folks. Bear with us. That was an ace, I promise you, it was an ace. And Kuerten leads 2-1 on serve in the second set. Well, just listen to this atmosphere. Maracanã.
And maybe a taste of things to come with the ATP World Finals to be played in Sao Paulo in 2001. They're held in Lisbon this year. Of course, for many years they've been held in Germany, in both Hanover and Frankfurt. And now the theory is that you try, as they used to do with the old Masters events, used to switch them around from country to country. A very good idea, but of course it'll still be indoors in Lisbon and in Sao Paulo, which will certainly still benefit the indoor players as opposed to the clay quarters.
Pete Sampras leads by a set to love and is 1-2 down on serve in the second best of 5 set final of the Ericsson Open.
Well, that'll be a welcome sight to Sampras. Kuerten really snatching at that, being a little rushed. That's the last thing he wants in his mind. He's got to try and remain calm and cool on the shot.
Another ace, a ninth, and once again to the forehand side. And once again decidedly quick. That's 124 miles an hour.
He averaged against Hewitt a first service speed of 115 miles an hour.
Today 119, although of course it's daytime and warmer rather than nighttime. Ooh, distinctly fortunate for that to land in. Well, there's a change of tactics from Kuerten, but I'm not sure he's going to out-volley Sampras.
No, I don't think he's got that sort of capability, really. This demands a lot of really good footwork, a lot of really good handiwork, and it's not typical of Kuerten. I wouldn't recommend that.
Another love game for Sampras. And it's 2-all.
Yes, in fact, his first love game of the match. He served 3 against Leighton Hewitt, all in the first set, in which he lost just 3 points to the young Aussie. But he really got back at him in that second.
Sampras using every inch of the court.
Well, Sampras wondering what on earth they're going on about. It was plumb on the line.
Problems once again for Gustavo Kuerten. Second time he's been love 30 down in this set. Got out of the last one.
That's his first double fault in 3 matches.
3 more break points for Sampras.
Well, he seemed to have all the time in the world, but sometimes that could be a real hindrance here. Really putting the weight onto the right foot, onto the back foot, and leaning forward. It's a dodgy shot at times, but as I say, it's a much improved shot, and my goodness, he needs it.
Oh, that's a great shot. Thought Sampras had him.
Well, Sampras just got inside this one, and I thought it was going away, keeping so low, and in a way, that's a miracle by Kuerten. 2 cross-court forehands in a row. Needs a first serve, though, surely.
Got him this time, and the clenched fist from Sampras, because he's up a set and a break. Leading now by 3 games to 2 in the second set. Let's have a look at that final point.
Well, the problem for Kuerten really is not enough first serves. In fact, he didn't get 1 in that game, and okay, he got away with 2, but the chances were that Sampras wasn't going to let him off the hook again, and really keeping up the pressure, and Kuerten just not able to recover.
Well, now let's have a look at the direction of Sampras's first serves with our virtual reality machine, and we can see just how often he's going to the forehand in both corners. And you said right at the start, Fru, that you thought that could be decisive. Far more to the forehand than the backhand.
Well, very important, and as I was saying, Kuerten struck a couple of forehands, but noticeably it was a forehand in the end that caused the error and the loss of serve.
Pete Sampras up a set and a break. Let's have a look at his service profile. Now, actually, that's quite low by him, 53% of first serves in. His average for the tournament, 64%. But look how well he's doing behind the second serve. You'd expected him to be that good behind the first. And the stars and stripes. Glory. Looking very good at the moment. A sellout crowd of 14,000 at the stadium court at Crandon Park. And Pete Sampras treating them to a virtuoso performance. Oh, I thought he was going to do a backhand slam dunk for us. Of course, it's the NCAA finals. The basketball finals at the moment, and much local excitement. Florida State in the finals against Michigan State. Oh, I'm told it's the University of Florida. I must get my facts right. I'll be in terrible trouble. One fact I'm sure of is that Pete Sampras has just served a 10th ace, and guess which way it went.
Well, he did seem to be having problems with the sun earlier on, but from this northern end, but playing so well now, I think he can even forget that.
Successive love service games to Sampras. And he's having a Sunday afternoon stroll in Crandon Park at the moment, playing sublime stuff.
Kuerten really has got to get himself together here in a hurry. Another missed first serve, that's 7 in a row. He's just playing into Sampras's hands, and the backhand that started so well is now beginning to disintegrate.
Just the right height to get over Sampras, just enough spin to bring it down.
Well, this is brilliant play. I thought all round Sampras really looking so good, moving about the court and even in mid-court able to come up with the goods.
Kuerten holds, but it's Sampras who leads by a set and 4-3. Gustavo Kuerten just going to redo his racket grip. And if we look at a set of statistics, the statistics for winners and unforced errors are through, well, Gustavo's probably saying to himself, hang on, I've hit 14 winners, 4 unforced errors, and I'm getting killed out here. What is going on? Well, of course, we know Sampras is just playing brilliantly.
Well, I suppose the differential is 11 to 10, isn't it? You wouldn't think so, though, considering the scoreline. Sampras winning the important points, and although Kuerten served a horrible percentage against Agassi, just 36%, Agassi wasn't in the sort of mood to take advantage of his second serve. Sampras certainly is, and keeping so much pressure on. In a way, I think Kuerten might even be feeling a little belittled at stage, and I think it's important really to be able to stick his chest out.
That's it, hold him up high, because Pete Sampras is playing quite superb tennis. Sampras leading by a set and 4-3 with a break. Best of 5 set final, of course, so it isn't over yet for Gustavo Kuerten, but I don't think many people would support him from 2 sets to love down. Well, what do you say about this? I'm running out of superlatives for Sampras this afternoon, and he's serving. First serve percentage is going up. The aces are going in.
Well, the 7 previous Sampras service games realised just 7 points for Kuerten.
Well, I think we can have a look at that from the server's point of view on our virtual reality machine. Just look at the spin going around there, the swerve on it. Magnificent. Well, he swings the racket over 4 times and the ball doesn't come back. 3 love service games in a row.
Well, what he's doing, Sampras, really, he's playing this match as if it's an indoor match, totally unaffected by the wind, just powering his way right through the wind that there is.
The man is human. Didn't quite manage to climb over the net. Well, Kuerten reduced to rolling the first serve in 92 miles an hour. Trying to roll the second serve in at 83. He looks now like a man who's gone 14 rounds with Muhammad Ali at Ali's very best. He's punch drunk. Break point and set point. Looks as if he played that last point with his laces undone. He will probably walk straight across Key Biscayne Bay after this. Well, it's a sign of just how confident Sampras is that he's going now for drive backhand returns and coming in behind it, and he was desperately disappointed to miss it. Oh, and a foot fault called as well as an ordinary fault. Well done, Gustavo Kuerten, because every game has to be really chiseled for at the moment. Saves a set point, but Sampras will serve for the set at 5-4. Well, we've seen Pete Sampras play so well on so many occasions, Fru, but in particular, the way he's tactically approached this match has been so good.
Well, kept the pressure on Kuerten, even though Kuerten, I thought, started pretty well. He's just kept the pressure on, and of course the Brazilians played into his hands by, as we can see in the background, the 86-degree temperature. Therefore, Sampras trying to keep cool here with a towel dosed in ice-cold water. But he really hasn't taken a lot out of him, and of course that will be contrary to what the Brazilian and his supporters would have liked. They would have wanted this match really to have been somewhere around about 2.5 hours and more, if Kuerten wasn't going to win it in a hurry. So that their hopes of coming from love 2 sets down to still win are not made easier by the fact that Sampras is winning easily and therefore fresh.
Well, the crowd's really enjoying this. Even the Brazilian fans at the back there, they're still waving their flags, even though their man is frankly being mauled by the king of the jungle out there. "61 minutes. Serving with new balls for a 2-sets-to-love lead. Third double.
And that a fairly tentative serve by Sampras' standards, taking a lot of pace off. He was undoubtedly just trying to get the first serve in.
And a lot of pace off the second serve too, 92. And therefore pretty criminal for Kuerten not to have made him play. But it was to the forehand. Tempted to say normal service is resumed. Unlucky for Guga. Played. That's what he's got to do.
Well, just seemed to expect the wrong footer a little bit more here, and therefore into position nice and early. And Sampras just steering it, not punching it, but in the past, in this match, that's been good enough. First time in the set, of course, he's got the 2 points on the Sampras serve.
Oh, now 3, and it's breakback chance.
Well, really looking a lot more lively suddenly, Kuerten. It's a case perhaps of now or never.
Brilliant. And instead of being 2-sets-to-love down, Gustavo Kuerten breaks back and the match comes alive at 5-all.
Well, I wonder if he's learned from Sampras' mistake. Sampras up 30-15, not another first serve in. And Kuerten really playing the most glorious of shots. Such a good antidote, of course, to the volleyer.
Well, one or two people thinking ooh and ah, but Sampras knew it was going wide.
Yes, reading the wind, absolutely right there. And Kuerten, of course, trying another lob during the rally, and that going somewhat wrong.
That's long too. And just when Gustavo Kuerten was getting into the match, he's back in trouble.
Longest rally of the match, 13 strokes. But he knows if he doesn't punish the ball that sooner or later, if Sampras gets just something a little short of a length in, he's going to be.
Fourth ace from Kuerten.
15.
Well, he was looking to get into the net after the good angle that he'd played. He's only been into the net 8 times, as opposed to Sampras's well over 50.
Just wide. And that's 3 games in a row for Gustavo Kuerten. And a complete transformation in the fortunes of these two. Sampras, having served for the set, must serve to save the set. Well, everybody getting into this one now. It had gone a little quiet as Sampras seemed to be rolling to victory, but he's a better player than when he won the French, isn't he? He now knows how to handle himself in these situations.
Well, I think that's just the point. He is, after all, a player who has done it at the highest level. He has won a major, and it was just my thought that he's not going to go down here without a fight. And I think he would have had Sampras just not lost a bit of his real courage and allowed Kuerten to play too many second serves when he was serving for the second set. Of course, and now it gives Kuerten a tremendous hope, and with so much crowd support, he's not out there alone.
Well, we'll look back, I'm sure, on that game when Sampras was serving for the second set. And this was the moment that Kuerten broke back. Certainly the most important moment of the match so far. Getting very excited about it. How he'd love to follow that up now with a second successive break. As Sampras
Ready for play.
tries to take us into a tie-break. And again, he's lost the all-important first point.
And Kuerten was staying a long way back on that. Again, a little less swing and speed by Sampras, 105, almost determined to get the first serve in. Unlike him, he normally just feels that he can hit it as hard as he likes and keep it in. quite a long way back in the shadow of the lights that surround this court. Here's Kuerten.
Real chance. Just feel at the moment, through that Pete may be overdoing the serve to the forehand because Kuerten's standing up and expecting it.
Well, I think the difference is that he's not doing it as hard and as incisively. He's taken quite a bit of pace off these serves.
Kuerten not convinced about that one down the centre, but it was good. And not incisive on the volley either.
And Coach Passos and the Brazilians rather keen, particularly when Kuerten makes these forehands, because the backhand is his strength. You can just assume he's going to make a lot more of those. When he starts striking these, though, it's a bit like finding gold.
Almost gave Kuerten another chance, but Sampras holds, and we're into a second set tiebreak.
Kuerten's tiebreak record this year: 1-6, lost 7. And I think too, as we look at those tiebreak records, the important change now too, Sampras has taken a bit of pace off. Kuerten is standing a lot further back when he's returning, gives him more time for the long swing. So even on the second serve, he's still quite a way behind the baseline.
Oh, terrific play from both of them.
Well, I think we can say we've really got a match on our hands here. I suppose that's obvious at 6-all, but still, both players playing well at the same time. Kuerten able to play off both wings, keep the ball in play, make Sampras play another volley.
Again, only serving at 112. And the first point against the serve goes in favour of Kuerten.
And amazing the difference in the mental state. Kuerten staying down, staying solid, remaining calm and cool, and Sampras really uncertain, just not sure now mentally where Kuerten's going to be hitting the ball. A little bit of indecision and on Sampras' side, and a lot more confidence on Kuerten's side. Overruled, and yet it was on the line.
Well, he wins the point anyway, but was the overrule justified? Well, it was justified.
I stand corrected. Well done, umpire Ulrich.
Two breaks of the Sampras serve now in the tie-break, and no wonder Gustavo Kuerten's coach and brother are on their feet. He should win the breaker.
5-1,
They change ends with Kuerten 5-1 up.
Well, the standing way back is really making all the difference. It's just giving him that much more space. And of course, understandably, winning games, winning points, important ones, his mind is that much clearer.
Thank you.
What?
5-2.
Well, would you believe it? Ace on the second serve.
6-2.
5 aces, and the man who was within a point of going down by 2 sets to love now has 4 points to make it 1 set all. Quite amazing. Well, that's the glory of sport, isn't it? Even when one man's totally on top, until he closes out a set, it ain't over. Well, I'm finding it hard to believe all this through this incredible transformation. But as you say, all credit to that man for thinking it out.
Well, he thought it out, and he had the foundation of belief, of course, in winning a major, in being the terrific all-round player he is. And he was aided and assisted by Sampras, who in that 10th game at 30-15 just somehow lacked a little bit of his usual courage. Perhaps they thought all he needed to do was just get the ball in, and Kuerten, because he was so off, would miss. And it just shows the difference that a bit of experience, a bit of certainly winning a major does for you, because Kuerten was just able to raise his game to such an extent that he was able to deliver when Sampras offered him the rope.
Well, a great tournament like this deserves a great final, and it looked as if when Sampras had that point for 2 sets to love, this would be as one-sided as the women's final was yesterday. If you hadn't heard, Martina Hingis beating Lindsay Davenport 6-3, 6-2. But now Sampras, who looked so set for 2 sets to love, is 1 set all. Let's have a look at the statistics for the second set. And just a few unforced errors creeping in. And Sampras will be kicking himself that he didn't convert more of those break points, because he could have built an unassailable lead in that set. And if you give a class player like Kuerten a chance to get back in, he's likely to take it. So everybody settles down after a thrilling period of 20 minutes in which this match has been turned on its head for set number 3. More and more Kuerten returns are finding their mark, either as clean winners or, on that occasion, forcing Sampras into a half volley or a low volley. .15 aces.
And back up to top speed again. He needs perhaps a few of those down the middle here. Kuerten getting a lot now to the swinging serve.
Fourth double fault. Sampras holds at the start of the third set, 1-set-all.
And these independent voices in the crowd, of course, if this match remains close like this and tends to go longer and longer, may just start not only giving Kuerten that extra bit of a boost, but really begin to irritate Sampras. I think Sampras was winning so easily early on that he was able just to stand aside and wait until the noise quietened down. There's no doubt he could hear the voices, but he just took his time and waited for them to keep quiet.
Getting down to the low balls. The ninth backhand winner of the match.
Yes, he didn't hit it quite as flat, but there's enough control on the ball. Not an easy shot to play, that.
Well, Kuerten looking around, they call a little long in coming. Steve Ulrich just confirming the call.
Yes, undoubtedly just a little long from Sampras. It's right down underneath us here.
Love game for Gustavo Kuerten, and I make it the only other love game he's had was his very first service game of the match.
Well, even though he's not making those, Kuerten, he's coming certainly a lot closer than he did earlier on, so he'll take heart even from that missed return.
Gustavo, you've mentioned that Kuerten's standing so far back. Is there anything Sampras can do to counter that?
Well, if he served as he did earlier on, he wouldn't have any problems at all. Pacey with that swing, it would swing Kuerten right out of court. But of course he's taken quite a bit of speed off it, and he could also hit a lot more down the middle, which is his best serve anyway.
Close. Yeah, it's almost as if Sampras is in one of those lethargic modes at the moment. There's nothing incisive about the volleying either.
Yes, he got into it, I think, when he thought really that it was 2 sets to him, and he just took a bit of pace off and thought he could, because Kuerten was playing so poorly, he'd just run away with the first 2 sets. Now he's finding difficulty changing gear. His average first serve speed is 118 miles an hour, but I can guarantee you in the last few games it's really dropped to closer to 100 miles an hour.
Cutting across this one a bit too much.
He's enjoyed the wrong footing play today. He's used it a lot.
Sampras 2-1 to Sampras. We're on serve at the start of the third set. 1 set all. So Sampras changing his shirt. Now then, if we have a look at the comparison of the winners' unforced errors, now earlier on in the match Sampras was way ahead, but now suddenly he's only got a +6 mark and Kuerten a +17 mark, which is quite extraordinary.
And Kuerten reducing on the unforced errors, of course that's partly his own doing, and also I think partly because, as we've been pointing out, Sampras has just taken a little more sting really out of his shots, particularly his serve. So Kuerten has got a lot more time to play them, and therefore the shots are more steady, are more unrushed. And of course if he rushes his shots as he was early on with Sampras at top speed, he's bound to make more forced errors or unforced errors.
True. Why do you think Sampras has reduced the speed of his serve?
Well, I think I pointed that out at one stage. He did it just because he was close to being 2 sets to love. He figured all he needed to do was get the serve in, because in that game in which he served for the second set, he started with a double fault. Therefore felt towards the end of that game he didn't want to do that again. Took a lot more pace off, and the pace off the second serve as well, just because he was confident of winning it. But it gave Kuerten that opportunity to get back into the match. And now Sampras, for some reason, has not been able to shake himself free from that habit.
Paul Annacone must be wondering what's gone on. Just past the hour-and-a-half mark. Frankly, there were times in the second set when I thought the whole match might not last an hour and a half.
Yes, once you introduce a tiebreaker into the set, a good chance that it's going to be a little longer than that. And Kuerten now winning 11 straight points on his serve.
Game, Kuerten.
There's another one. And suddenly it's Kuerten who's holding serve to love.
And of course, the longer they're out there, the more, in many ways, the Kuerten camp will be pleased, because they feel that Sampras hasn't got the shock of hair that Kuerten's got. And that the sun will affect him. And as we've seen in the past, he can be affected by these long matches in humidity, even though it's not blisteringly hot out there. Well, of course, it was a beautiful backspin backhand lob that got Kuerten a very vital point here, but perhaps just trying it a bit too much, and Sampras will lap up any opportunity to smash with that sort of comfort.
That's barrel of beer time again after two successive net courts. Or perhaps given the sponsors a mobile phone. 16th ace. Love game for Sampras, and looks like he's departing. I suspect actually to change his shorts.
Hey, come on.
Well, Pete Sampras has temporarily left us. He was indicating to umpire Ulrich he's going to change his shorts. Meanwhile, Gustavo Kuerten concentrates on changing his racket grip yet again.
Well, quite a few of the players almost use this as an escape from the match. I suppose it does allow them the opportunity to consider the match as they work on something else, but I think too, particularly with people like Sampras and Kuerten, it's just a bit of light relief, almost possibly look forward to a grip change and seeing how quickly they can do it, a little bit like cars into the pit and change of tyres in Formula One.
Gustavo Kuerten has levelled this match at 1-all. Pete Sampras just left us for a moment or two, but is now back on court. Terrific atmosphere in here, and everyone glad almost of the breather. Well, Sampras left us. There's our net camera, the ball kids, who are doing a great job with difficult conditions for them too. Hot and sticky. Two-three, third set, 1-all. Kuerten serving.
new balls for Kuerten, so important really, with Sampras no doubt looking to perhaps chip and charge for him to get the first serve in, as he did in that last point. And when you serve to the Sampras backhand just at 88 miles an hour, the chances are he's really not going to hurt you that much. And of course he's not expecting it slow, so he's not prepared to come in. If he knew it was going to be that slow, he might well have chipped and charged on the first serve. Well, just the 11th time Kuerten's come into the net, and looking a little bit of a sorry sight here, not having much of an answer for the drifter, looking to play the stop volley from a very low position.
Well, took one right on the head, but a tough nut, obviously. Well, one of those moments where you expected Sampras to come up with one of those explosive forehands. Well, it climbed over at the second asking. And again, when Sampras was there, he had a chance to get it back into play.
Yes, his problem was he was actually there. He didn't quite get his feet right. You can see here he just slightly overruns the ball. He needed to get his right foot down just a little later, instead of which he just lost the momentum.
Seventh ace from Gustavo Kuerten. And we're tied at threes in the third set.
Well, will it prove as pivotal as it so often is, the seventh game in the third set, at a set all? Sampras early in the week was talking about how at times he needs he feels to take his time a little bit more, to be a little bit more measured. And it's almost as if he's into that pattern at the moment.
Five double faults. At least that one was at 40 love. It's the backhand lob again.
Well, making as many returns is so important, because it's just making Sampras play that many more shots. Particularly if he can make Sampras play it after its bounce, it's going to be that much slower. It gives him more time for this backhand lob. And he's certainly got the full range of shots when he's got the time, Kuerten. The difference now is he has more time, whereas earlier Sampras was just rushing him that much more.
Well, if the one at 40 love wasn't too serious, the one at 40-30 certainly is. Ace number 17, and again wide out to the forehand. So the two double faults didn't hurt him too much in the end. 4-3 Sampras leads on serve, third set. Pete Sampras, well, again going through all these routines, the special fluid that he will no doubt have prepared beforehand. They've got electrolytes in there, keeping the fluids up, keeping the blood sugar content up. Well, it's almost a science now, isn't it, the preparation for matches?
Very important, particularly over long matches, to feed yourself the sugar, because it takes quite a bit of time for it to work its way through the system, and anything taken now should be of more benefit in an hour or so time. Of course, Sampras will be hoping that he's off court. Good chance there that he won't. He certainly might have been had he just served out that second set. He certainly looked to be on his way to doing that. Now the sun is taking its toll, and Kuerten will be mighty pleased of that.
Well, the organisers have given us all sorts of interesting stats. They've told us that during the tournament they've sold 62,000 hot dogs, 7,000 dolphin sandwiches. I hasten to add that's a fish, not the mammal. 7,000 pounds of hamburger meat, 17,000 scoops of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. I think I contributed a little bit to that total. 4,000 pounds of pasta and 10,000 pounds of French fries have been served. My word. Meanwhile, back to the tennis.
Well, Sampras actually there looked very much more on his toes, as if he felt this was the moment to strike. It's not just the way that rally went, and it wasn't just at the end of the point, but from the moment Kuerten served it, Sampras was looking a lot more eager again.
And I suppose when you've got a huge serve like Sampras, that's something you can do, conserve your energy a little bit. If you find yourself 30 love down on your opponent's serve. Just long at the far end.
Well, I wonder if Sampras was thinking of that terrific point he played against Leighton Hewitt, where he kept wrong-footing the Australian to that side. Seemed to be getting into that type of rhythm there. It just shows the importance that Kuerten now has placed and the success that he's had on getting the first serve in, just even at 93. And in this game making many more, pushing his whole percentage up.
Yes, his percentage for the match is now 56 and was way down earlier on. just a third double, but now it's Kuerten's turn to open the door.
Of course, I'd no sooner mentioned the fact that he's getting a lot of first serves in that he proceeded to miss the next two.
Yes! Great stuff.
Well, not quite the jubilation, the exultant spirit he showed against Leighton Hewitt here, but I'm sure just a little bit of that feeling as he counters all the ground strokes that Kuerten can throw at him. Kuerten again missing the first serve, though, playing into Sampras' hands.
And it's break point. Second break point for Sampras. He comes up with the great lob.
Well, changing tactics. Kuerten serve volleying the bite a bit because it's now Sampras who's opening up the court with the lob.
Missed it. Would you believe it?
Well, I wonder what Sampras feels as he misses this because it was an absolute winner. I can only imagine as he puts his head under the umpire's chair, he's thinking, why didn't you lower the bloomin' net, ump?
Players are ready. Thank you.
Well, that's more like the Sampras. We know he has yet another break point. Like an arrow down the line. Oh dear. Well, the one thing he's not done well at all is converting on his chances. 10 break points have gone a-begging. Guga showing his intense relief. 3 break points he survived. Sampras would have served for 2-1. Instead, it's 4-all.
And I think a change of racket by Kuerten. He must really feel the sort of relief that very often, of course, can lead to a player swinging out on his shots. And possibly that's really what he will be trying to do here. Sampras, on the other hand, will be kicking himself. Not as successful as Kuerten usually is on taking breakpoint opportunities, but still, he's squandered a lot.
4-all, third set, 1-all.
Well, very well dealt with by Kuerten. There's a lot of frame to move, and Sampras really drilling this one straight at him. You can see he managed so well on the backhand side, so much better and easier to manage on that side than on the forehand. And there are real problems if you try and dig it out of the body with the forehand.
18th ace. Yet again out wide to the forehand, this time finding the angle he needed. Well, strange there, Fru. Sampras didn't seem to react too much.
No, it was a good bit of timing by Kuerten, a long way back, and he couldn't have played it much better. I think Sampras would have been at a loss, mind you, had he even gone for it. And as you say, making no attempt.
We can see again the great swerve out wide. Taking it away, and of course it continues that swing beyond the bounce. Sampras manages to hold again. No breaks of serve so far in this third set. And it's Sampras who leads by 5-4 at 1-all. So Sampras has his nose in front, but how easy, given that he was so much in control for 2 sets through, to put the fact that he had a set point for a 2-0 lead out of his mind. Some restrung rackets being brought out.
Well, he's that experienced. Of course, you'd say, oh well, it's easy for him to shift it, but it takes a bit of while to dislodge. On the other hand, he can tell himself that he was. Looked very good against Leighton Kuerten and lost the second set, and many people thought, including myself, that he might really struggle to win the final. Came on very strongly, but that best of 3 here, he's got a lot more work to do. And the clue really to that wide swinging serve of his is that the ball at the sort of apex of its arc has to be just above the net. Where so many people make mistake when they try and swing the ball out wide is, of course, trying to swing it from the moment it bounces. The swing's got to be before it bounces.
Well, it may be gone 5 o'clock of the afternoon, 5:10. You can just see there it's still 84 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's still hot and humid. And the Brazilian flags contributing to the heat around the place.
Order and prosperity, I believe it says on there.
4-5, serving to stay in the set.
First.
Third successive game in which he's lost the first point on his serve. Real encouragement for the American.
Lifelike on the approach, really cut through the ball.
Well, asking a huge question of Kuerten, but because he's keeping it so low through that slice, Kuerten's got to dig it out, try for what for him is his most difficult shot. He'd be better off perhaps just trying to play it straight up the line.
Again, at love 30, you expected Sampras to be pushing the accelerator. Instead, the carburettor has spluttered.
Well, Kuerten was intent there and did well, I think, to keep a good length on his ground strokes. Didn't give Sampras a real opportunity of coming in.
Been on court now for exactly 2 hours. And everybody thought the longer this match went, the better the chances of Kuerten. The reaction of Sampras says it all. He had a real chance there at love 30. And Kuerten, well, he's changing rackets more regularly than Sampras.
Something that we've possibly just overlooked a little bit is the Kuerten backhand, which has become a real factor. As we saw Sampras miss the backhand at the end of that last game. Kuerten's backhand, he's really able to do so much more with it. And even in that second set, late in the second set, he was playing some very good acutely angled cross-court backhands and hitting them fast at the same time.
Now then, Gustavo Kuerten's fans sensing this could be the moment for their man. Gets to that wide-out serve, as he's done increasingly so as the match has progressed. Look how far he is back behind the baseline. Love 30 now on the Sampras serve.
Again, just 100-mile-an-hour first serve by Sampras.
Ooh,
15.
just long. Relief for Sampras.
Well, it certainly worked quite smoothly for Sampras, but in many ways I'm still a little surprised he's not using the serve down the middle on the left court a lot more.
1 set all, 5 all, 30 all. Whoa! Well, he read the spin.
Give him time to make the backhand. This one 97 miles an hour, and from a long way back with those long swings, he can keep it low. And once he keeps it low, that much more difficult for Sampras to apply pace to the volley. It gives Kuerten that much more time.
Thank you. Players are ready. Thank you.
Certainly taking the pressure off the double faulting, of course, by getting all these first serves in at the lower speeds.
Let.
String's gone. So lucky for Sampras that the serve missed. Now that one has well and truly gone, hasn't it?
And of course, if the returner was making, say, a return off a missed Sampras serve, in fact, Sampras would get 2 serves if the returner broke a string.
Well, the new racket was obviously strung to perfection. Goes on a second serve with a new racket. He comes up with ace number 19. And it's 6-5 Sampras.
I suppose he could really do a bit of coasting and then come on strong at the end, but that's not typical of Sampras. His supporters will be certainly hoping that he can do it here and do it quickly.
Well, we've been so used to seeing that flag, haven't we, around the great soccer grounds. And the discarded racket of Sampras. Sampras leads 6-5 in the third set. 1 set all. We're on serve in the final of the Ericsson Open, the second of the Masters Series events. Incidentally, we'll be back with you 2 weeks tomorrow. It'll fly by, I'm sure, with the first day's coverage from Monte Carlo, the third of the Masters Series, which is one of the most dramatic settings for tennis you can imagine. The
Ready for play.
Monte Carlo Country Club, perched on the edge of the Mediterranean.
15 love.
8th ace for Kuerten.
Generally average about 7 or so aces a match, Kuerten. Of course, most of those matches during the course of a year are best of 3.
Sampras let off the hook there.
But back into his favourite position. It's been a while really since he's been able to chip and charge.
Called a fault. Well, I thought that complete mishit would set it up for Sampras, but the shoulders are slumped, the mouth is open. I wonder just how much these 2 hours and 9 minutes have taken out of him. Was Gustavo Kuerten, looks as fresh as a daisy.
6 games on tie break.
Second successive tie-break then. And we have, of course, updated our tie-break records.
Thank you.
To take into account the one that Kuerten won at the end of the second set.
The last time Sampras played 2 back-to-back tiebreakers was in Indian Wells against Wayne Ferreira. He lost the first set and then won 2 in a row, but of course also played 2 in a row against Agassi at the Australian.
And this time the early break goes to Sampras, the early mini break. Point against the serve. Thought that Sampras had that covered, but he framed it.
Well, it almost sounded as if it hit him on the arm. He really got the forehand volley very wrong. Yes, right off the top edge of the frame.
Just a little fortunate.
Well, he's doing well with the volley, isn't he? Because Kuerten's having to play, or is choosing to play, the return so far back that Sampras, just by pushing them short on the volley, is making Kuerten cover a lot of ground to play the next shot.
Well, it's Sampras who's come on strong in this tie-break. And the... Oh, well, that's one way of licking your lips. It's a complete mirror image of the second set tie-break. Then it was Kuerten who changed ends at 5-1. And now it's Sampras who leads 5-1.
Thank you. Sampras.
Well, it was there for the taking. Kuerten had his 2 successive tiebreakers, of course, in his first round match where he saved match point against Arnaud Clément. 6-7, 7-6, 7-5, that one went.
Well.
5-3, Sampras.
Well, again, Kuerten a long way back, but really, although he's missed points in this tiebreak, he's got the ball into play, and I thought it might just cost Sampras in the end.
Chance there, and he knows it. And it's 3 set points for Sampras.
6-3, Sampras.
One more set point on the Kuerten serve. Sampras would then have one in reserve on his own. Oh, unlucky. Would have been a winner, and only just
6-5,
clipping the net.
Sampras.
So Kuerten saves the first 2 set points. Can he find a way of saving the third? Paul Anaco noting it all down in his
Thank you. Players are ready.
notepad.
Thank you.
Sampras. Whoa, the relief is clear to see. He wins the third set tiebreak by 7 points to 5 and leads by 2 sets to 1. Well, everybody on their feet taking a chance to stretch their legs, and let's get the thoughts of Fru McMillan.
Well, I just wondered, watching Paul Anaco make his notes, where Sampras would serve on that set point, and I had the feeling that he'd probably go to the backhand, because that's what he's been doing most of the time, although, as I'd said earlier, I felt he ought to be using the serve down the middle of the court a lot more. Just had a... But I think a good move really by Sampras, changing it up, swinging it down the middle of the court, and making Kuerten play it a long way back and very sharp into the net, as Sampras was there. I think a good move by him to change direction at an important stage like that.
So Sampras winning the third set 7-5 as we bring you the match statistics, and Gustavo Kuerten and Pete Sampras both getting the first serve percentages right up there. Nothing to choose between them in the service aces either. Double fault's not too significant in that one. Kuerten ahead in the winners count. It's really quite extraordinary. And how does Sampras win that set with all those unforced errors? And of course, no break points to Kuerten. Sampras failing to take his chances. So here we go then. Set number 4.
Well, this is terrific by Sampras. He's taking advantage of these missed serves again. Ball sitting up rather nicely for him. Of course, he takes it early, prevents it really having to play it high above his shoulder.
Tenth ace from Gustavo Kuerten.
Well, that net court doesn't seem to be playing the game with Sampras, does it? Better check it. Maybe it's made in Brazil.
So Gustavo Kuerten comes from love 30 to hold serve at the start of the 4th set. Just having a look at the line call now then. Our colleague Chris Bailey in some distinguished company there. On his left, his right, your left, is Tim Henman, and the man on his left, your right, is the most important man because he's the man who pays us.
Adrian Lofts. Well, reasonably simple here for Sampras. Kuerten trying to hook it acutely cross court, just mishitting it, not using much pace there, Sampras, as he's done with a lot of his volleys, almost as if he's encouraging Kuerten to play another shot. I thought it might be the other way around.
Oh my word. Well, even the great volleyers can miss simple ones, and that certainly was simple.
Yes, again, perhaps just a little too casual, trying to stroke it.
Denied by the net court again. The forehand of Kuerten has had a lot of practice, and they do say practice makes perfect.
And Sampras really whipping this one in a little bit faster than most of his second serves have been for a while, and yet perfectly met and timed by Kuerten. He had to adjust, make a rapid adjustment.
Yes, he's made it. And it's break points.
15.
Well, the big point in the last set, Sampras served to the forehand, here going to the backhand and enabling Kuerten to bring his better shot into play. And lovely control at the end of the long run here. Didn't seem much room, but he squeezed it in.
15-40.
Seems so calculated in the crisis. That was almost like a Lou Hode shot, a very short jab at the ball, well timed. Doesn't quite have the strength of arm that the great Hode had, but it was strong enough arm and great timing.
Serve deep. And the delightful little stop volley and the 2 break points are cancelled out.
Well, it's 2 men, I think, who are both enjoying this tactic. And Sampras having to play a cheeky shot here. That's immaculate control. Of course, it can look very wrong if he doesn't play it as well as this. But Kuerten won't mind those kick serves to the backhand.
Sampras holds from 15-40. And it's 1-1 in the 4th. Sampras leads by 2-1.
Sampras is almost giving a lesson here in smoothness. It's really quite silky. Even the forehand, which he can really play as hard or harder than anyone else, he just took a bit of pace off, playing within himself. Perhaps concentrating on basics, which is unusual for Sampras. He almost, I think, plays instinctively, but here it just seems a bit more thought. It's a bit more measured, but it's also good.
Well, it's remarkable, isn't it? Both men really having to work hard for their serves in this set. The first game, Kuerten love 30 down. Second, Sampras 15-40 down. Kuerten was love 30, still in trouble. That'll do nicely, though. 11th ace.
30-all.
Just a fourth double fault for Gustavo Kuerten, but it could be oh so crucial, because now it's breakpoint Sampras.
A little bit of a celebration there by Kuerten as he hoisted that one into the air. Missed by an inch and a half, perhaps.
Twelfth ace. Kuerten serves himself out of trouble. 13 aces from him. Both men have had chances to break, neither have. 2-1, fourth set. Well, one thing that both men have not done well is convert their chances in this match. Kuerten 1 of 4, Sampras 3 of 14, but I suppose in fairness we should say a lot of that has to do with the server.
Yes, Kuerten has done very well all this week, and in fact last year headed the tour in breakpoints one. He was up at 50%, which is extremely good. It's about the only category on the return of serve department that Agassi didn't head. And this week Kuerten's been winning 58% of his breakpoint opportunities. So 25%, not so good. But then there's the quality of the Sampras serve, even though Sampras hasn't been hitting them of late just quite as hard.
Well, Gustavo Kuerten, well, that's one way of cooling down, isn't it? He's clearly anticipating a fifth set because he's just sent a racket off to be restrung. I can always remember in the summer of '76 back in Britain, which was a glorious summer, one of the rare ones we have. But in those days they didn't used to change the line judges every hour or 45 minutes. We were on for a whole match, and I was on for 4.5 hours, and at the end, every change of ends, I asked the ball kids for a bottle of water and poured it straight over my head. Just past the 2.5 hour mark, as you can see. Hazy downtown Miami, suggesting a lot of humidity. And Sampras wiping away his particular bit of humidity, setting a new sweat-throwing record, and serving at 1-2 in the fourth.
Well, that's another similar serve, but only so much better. Right on the line, a little bit of extra speed and terrific bounce.
7th double fault, and I remember saying earlier on in this match, well, not too expensive at 40 love, and suddenly flung in another and it became quite expensive. No problems this time. 20th ace. You can see the floodlights have just come on, even though, of course, with daylight saving, we certainly won't lose natural light for quite some time yet.
Perhaps the players were complaining about it being a little too cool on court. Of course, the floodlights will add a little bit more heat to matters. Well, he hasn't been as extravagant with his forehands, has he, in this match? Somehow we've not seen as many winners. That's just the 4th forehand winner from Sampras.
30-50.
He scored 8 forehand winners against Leighton Hewitt.
Oh, foot fault called. It's the first time he's been called on the foot fault when the serve's gone in. Comfortable service game for Gustavo Kuerten, and he leads 3-2 in the 4th.
Yeah, we got some. You want some banana?
Well, Gustavo Kuerten has just asked for a banana. Here they come. Once famously at the All England Club, the Wimbledon Championships, they ran out of bananas. Players were eating so many they had to send up to Wimbledon Village and clean out all the greengrocers for more. You eat bananas in your day?
No, there wasn't a great deal of consumption on court. I suppose salt tablets and glucose was what was mainly consumed on court. And salt tablets, of course, anti-cramp, although I think that's a little disputed now in that it's not going to help in a hurry, that is. A saline solution of some sort, I suppose, better. But even the bananas is not really going to help the system for, I think it's about an hour and a half. So the chances are it's a psychological state.
Gustavo Kuerten has his nose in front on serve at 3-2 in the 4th set, but it's Sampras who leads by 2-1 after some 2 hours and 37 minutes.
every now and again he just surprises with a slightly shorter swing, a little bit further up the court. Important. Again, the first time in the set, Sampras has lost the first serve, or first point on his serve.
Well, Guga can't believe it. The half volley from Sampras right onto the line. Of course, a lot of the crowd thinking it was out, but he knows it wasn't. It was a look of disappointment rather than annoyance. Seventh winner from Sampras, one more than his opponent, but as you can see, he's made vastly more unforced errors. How on earth is he leading 2-1? Lies, damn lies and statistics, eh? Well, there's one of the reasons he's capable of producing moments of sheer genius.
Yes, this was a bit of brilliance, and of course the unforced errors tend to be a bit of a subjective thing, and I really can't believe Kuerten's only made 15 unforced errors in the match. It would bet a lot that he's made a few more than that.
Sampras holds, levels off the score again in this fourth set.
Well, will Sampras make him pay for being a little cheeky?
String's gone.
15.
First time one's gone which has really affected the outcome of a point. Mary Possos won't worry about that. Probably saying serve him right for stringing them so tight. I'll make that, what's this, the fourth racket for Sampras. Oh dear, a lot of work for Nate. Mind you, Pete isn't playing again till Thursday in the Davis Cup.
Well, an effective chip and charge this by Sampras, moving away, but Kuerten moving into line nicely for it. Sampras actually testing his racket after that one. I wonder whether that signifies another change of racket, or whether he's just thinking about the number of net chords that haven't gone his way.
Won't be happy with that net at all, will he? Still no breaks in set number 4. And it's Gustavo Kuerten, who leads by 4 games to 3. Sampras glad to get out of the sun with that umbrella. It's an awkward angle for the players now, because slanting right into their eyes as they sit on the east side of the court. And these are the people on the east side of the stands, so they're getting the sun into their eyes now. But they seem to be enjoying themselves.
Yes, it's a stadium, of course, built by the same set of architects that built the Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York, also built the stadium out at Indian Wells. But where this one, I think, just beats the one at Indian Wells is you don't suffer from, because the stands aren't as high, they tend to slope much more out. You don't get the shadows on the court, say at this time. In Indian Wells, well, it was about 4 o'clock when and before, when the shadows were really playing their part. Here, not.
The stadium court at Crandon Park. The last match of this second Masters Series event, the Ericsson Open. They've had a change of line judge during that change of ends. They'll be doing about 45 minutes on, 45 minutes off. No respite for the players. 2 hours 45 the match has lasted. And it's Kuerten who leads 4-3. Fourth set, Sampras by 2 sets to 1.
Well, I wonder whether he was feeling his back a bit there, Sampras. Looked a little stiff, tapped his back with the racket and then did a ginger bit of bending. But the bending he did on the half volley was so effective and so good.
Well, an enormous kick serve from Sampras, only 89 miles an hour. Love game for Sampras, he'll take those. And I think the last love game of the match was the first game of set number 3.
Well, he's had 5 love service games and he seems to be almost playing it philosophically, Sampras. But then that's the way he tackled that third set.
Kuerten is up to 15 aces. Sampras incidentally at 20. the time in the world has set himself, and he's set himself perfectly.
And I think this is part of his attitude towards this match, as it was a little bit against Leighton Hewitt, just taking his time, but when necessary, finding that he can erupt. Just not trying to do things in a rush. There again, just biding his time and when the moment's appropriate.
Well, it's appropriate now. 4 all, 30 all. Sampras looking for a crucial breakthrough. So all credit to Kuerten, second ace of the game. The 16th of the match. And then he misses a sitter.
Well, Sampras wasn't even attempting to go for that. He conceded it.
Kuerten holds, and Sampras will have to serve to stay in the 4th set.
Kuerten leads 5 games to 4.
5-4. Well, again, the drama building as it has in all these sets, apart from the first, as we move towards the sharp end of the set.
And every now and again they both really play well at the same time. They really can't be too critical of one another here, because Sampras's approach was a good one, and Kuerten very often a long way back in court just somehow seems to mishit it a little bit, but he's made so many cross-court forehands that I think we can really say he means them and is able to play them from rather difficult positions. It seemed as if Sampras was in a good spot here to be able to volley just sharp cross-court and win the point, but he wasn't anywhere near it. Kuerten feeling his left leg a little bit there.
Yes, stamina certainly becoming a factor here after 2 hours and 51 minutes.
Time.
Gustavo Kuerten has a 5-4 lead. 4th set, Sampras leads by 2 sets to 1. Brazilian fans urging on their man to make a breakthrough that would tie this match up.
Thank you. Ready for play.
Incidentally, there wasn't a single final here during the 1990s that went the distance, that went to 5 sets. 8 double faults now from Sampras.
Seemed to really take his time there, didn't he? Because before he rocked into that familiar motion of his. Was it perhaps a change of mind? Perhaps just to go for the second serve a little more, 110 miles an hour there.
Another straightforward service game for Sampras. Finishing with a winning serve. Change your balls and listen to the crowd.
Thank you.
Let's go, Pete, is the chant. Well, Sampras did go forward, but Kuerten just said, no problem.
Yes, with the new balls, a nice opportunity for Sampras on the second serve to use that extra bit of pace, but Kuerten not put off by him. He's seen enough of Sampras at the net. According to our computer, Sampras has played 136 net points. It sounds extraordinary, doesn't it, compared to Kuerten's 23.
Love game for Gustavo Kuerten, and it's almost as if at the moment they're conserving energy for yet another tiebreak to come. Gustavo just having a word with Steve Ulrich. Well, the man behind the towel, shading his eyes till the umbrella arrives, is Gustavo Kuerten, and these are just some of his fans in high voice. Party time.
Well, he certainly had to struggle just that little bit more than Sampras on serve, but up until now in the set, won the important points. Of course, that particularly for him, the break point in the third game, and enviable too, serving ahead. Can just afford to take a few risks on the Sampras serve. And as far back as he tends to stand, of course, he can really afford to hit out and just hope to catch one or two in the middle of the racket.
Time.
You're watching the final of the Ericsson Open. Gustavo Kuerten leads 6-5 in the fourth set. It is Pete Sampras who leads by 2-1.
Players are ready.
Well, Kuerten, instead of having a real fling at the ball, as I thought he might, being a game ahead, just trying to steer that one back. Hasn't used too many of those shots.
Sampras having a long, hard look, that one. But the call was right, just. We've reached the 3-hour mark.
Wow, beautifully played. So poised was Sampras there. Might have been hurried with the return floating towards him, but instead of half volleying, of course, putting on the brakes gently. There was no scream. Only once on his first service game in the set as Kuerten won 2 points on his serve.
Well, for once, Sampras' skills letting him down on the half volley. And all of a sudden, Kuerten is 2 points away from levelling the match. Good call. No protest from Sampras. It's on the line, and Gustavo Kuerten has set point.
Well, sure enough, he looked to have a pretty firm and set jaw, and here swinging out rather than blocking, and so much more effective as a result. That's a beauty.
Well, of course, it was Kuerten who saved a set point that would have put him 2 sets to love down. And now Sampras has saved the set point. He's made another one on the line.
Well, 97 mile an hour, quite a bit of kick, but you can see not disadvantageously placed. He was able to play it and really get on top of the ball. It was about just under shoulder height. Oh, what a time for Sampras to be yorked. He seemed to be on top of this and then played it or left it a little late.
Second set point. Yeah, he closed it down. He anticipated superbly.
Well, Sampras really closing down on the net here, and was very, very close to it. Very difficult, of course, for Kuerten to bring off the lob at that stage with Sampras as close. Sampras certainly anticipating it, leaving the down the line open.
Sampras clings on. 2 set points, he survives, and it'll be a 3rd successive tiebreak.
Well, each of them lost 11 points in his serve in the set, so it's that equal.
Thank you.
The rival supporters having as much a battle as these two are.
Right onto the line, the approach shot, and Sampras makes an immediate breakthrough.
And causing Kuerten to do a bit of conducting, telling himself, I'm sure, Kuerten, that he's got to keep his backhands down a lot lower. Sampras actually mishitting the forehand approach a little.
Wonderful pickup on the half volley, and Gustavo getting a little frustrated.
Well, he did everything he'd been telling himself to do, keep the ball a lot lower on the backhand, played a super shot, but just a little bit of genius from Sampras made this so difficult for the Brazilian.
By no means an easy volley. You may have looked it, but Kuerten drilled it. It's the sort of volley that you really expect Sampras to make. It was wide. And that may seal the fate of Gustavo Kuerten, because he's now 2 mini breaks, 2 points against the serve down. It's long, just losing his balance.
Yes, the second time he's volleyed as if something's disturbed him, the sort of volleying you face, for instance, or the mistake you make when the ball's coming from light into shade or vice versa. That's not really the case here, but he just lost it, and that seems perilously close, doesn't it? And perhaps he was just thinking ahead a little too much towards those trophies.
Sampras edges ever closer.
Well, and actually sort of stomping the foot here, that's when he tries to get more snap into his shot, and Kuerten gave up the chase. He could have made it, but I think he thought once Sampras had stomped the foot that it was going to be an even better volley.
It's wide, and Sampras has 4 championship points. And Paul Annacone, well, it's just another note in the book.
Well, Kuerten almost a little impetuous getting on with the first serve there, almost as if he wanted to get this over with.
Sampras wants the towel rather than a tennis ball. He knows that these next 2 points are his chance to close it out. 2 points now on his own serve. Kuerten is not going to lie down.
6-4. Sampras.
2 match points saved. Only 1 more now on the Sampras serve. Wide. People are up on their seats, but it was wide, and Sampras knows it. Can you believe it? 3 have slipped away, and now they're back on serve.
6-5. Sampras. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Four match points have come and gone. Remind you of Henman against Agassi, perchance?
6-all.
6-all.
Well, Sampras really was taking his time throughout it all, but on that last shot just got a little carried away. He saw just a slight opening down the line and went for broke. It cost him dearly.
Players are ready, thank you.
It's on the line. Kuerten let it go,
Sampras.
but it had a little bit of topspin. And it's a 5th championship point for Sampras.
Well called by the lines, and no doubt about it. Sampras hit it well. Kuerten just unhappy with the state of affairs, but absolutely no doubt about the call. Bad error of judgment by him. And noticeably, most of the people who are booing are up our end of the court. The end from which it is the most difficult to see, but
Players are ready.
For the 5th time. I remember Sampras lost a Master Series final in Cincinnati to Patrick Rafter on a controversial call, which he continued to dispute for ages. And these Brazilian fans are going to boo for ages. Well, certainly memories of Hedman now.
7-all.
Hedman, who on the one match point he had against Agassi on his own serve in the final set breaker, served a double. That's 5 match points.
well, you've got a feel for Sampras having such a long delay between first and second serve, but still, he's experienced.
That'll go wide, and what are we up to now? 6 championship points.
And you feel if Kuerten misses the first serve, he's going to have to pass Sampras.
Well, Kuerten slams his racket in disgust because Sampras has yet another championship point.
Well, this is just tremendous play by Sampras, using all his assets, the quick of hand, taking the second serve early, and no mistake that time on the volley.
7th championship point. Extraordinary. It seemed to have bounced over Sampras' racket. Indeed it had, but it went out as well. Gustavo Kuerten still furious. You can see what he did to his racket over the call on his end, but it was a good call. And it's Sampras who takes the acclamation as he becomes the first man ever to win 11 Masters Series titles. But boy, was he pushed to the limit.
Well, and it's outstanding, I think, all-round performance by both of them. Sampras seemed to be pacing himself, and he just about got it right, didn't he? But he, my goodness, he cut it a little fine. All that conservation of energy, really, by taking the pace off his a lot of his first serves, I thought let Kuerten into the match, but in the end, perhaps it saved Sampras.
So, for confirmation of the scoreline, as we wait to have a word from Pete Sampras. Right, I think we can now hand you down to Chris Bailey, who's with Pete Sampras.
Pete, congratulations, 6-1, 5-3 up, and then suddenly you're involved in a real dogfight. It was some effort to come back.
Yeah, it was. I serving with new balls, serving downwind, and I lost control of my serve a little bit, serving for the second set. And that was a huge part of the match. If I would have held on there up 2 sets to love, I think would have been a little bit easier. But he made me work very hard. He's a great player, and I was starting to feel a little bit at the end now. It's been a while since I played a long match like this, so it was good good one to get through, but I was making it a lot more difficult on myself than I would have liked, but it's a good fight to get through.
You've always wanted to be thought of as one of the greatest ever. The 67th title, 62nd title for you, tying with Borgen Vilas. That must be pretty special for you.
Well, it's great. It wasn't my concern today. I was playing a tough opponent, and it's great to win titles. And this is a big title. Everyone was playing here as kind of a Grand Slam atmosphere, and the crowd was tremendous today. They get the assist today with helping me out there at the end.
You must have wondered whether you were playing at home or not at some of the time, didn't you?
Well, at some points the crowd was very loud, and that's a lot of Brazilians in Miami, and I knew that going into the match. When I played Lepenti, it was the same thing. Anyone from South America, it's tough to beat here. But I got through it. I got a little lucky at the end. I was choking there a little bit. My second serve there, it was just pathetic, and that's just a sign of nerves.
And good for you to come back from your injury last year at the US Open, and your first title of the year, your 11th Masters Series title as well. You lead the field in the Masters Series.
Well, that's great. It's a great win. At this point, I'm not concerned much with the race. I'm just trying to get better and trying to get in better shape. My conditioning, I don't feel like it was quite there. I was feeling a little bit today, but I got through it.
Pete, thanks very much, and we look forward to seeing you in Monte Carlo.
Indeed, yes. Pete Sampras, we hope, will be in Monte Carlo. Hasn't quite made up his mind yet whether to play there or in Orlando. Chris Bailey talking with the new champion in Miami for the third time. Let's have a look at the match statistics, and Fru McMillan will pick out the important ones.
Well, a very high percentage by Sampras, but that's generally where Sampras is at. The unforced errors total, well, if Kuerten only made 19 unforced errors, I'll eat my cap. But Sampras, well, the winners certainly outweighing the unforced errors. That's important for him. And Kuerten up at 16 aces, that's pretty high for him. He kept his service speed up pretty high. He was over average first service speed, Kuerten of 105. Faster service speed, Kuerten 126. Sampras took his off so that his average service speed for the match actually dropped down in the end to 111.
Well, we saw there that Pete Sampras had 20 aces. Here they go. Like facing a Kalashnikov, isn't it? And we were making the point that a lot of them going to the forehand in both corners, particularly in the deuce court. So everything in place now for the presentation ceremony. We're just waiting for our colleagues at Fox Network, the American broadcasters, here to complete their interview with Pete Sampras. We nipped in first because they raced away to a commercial break. But what a match. Frankly, I thought this man was going to lose in 3 straight sets in no time at all, but he again Fru showed that he's an all-court player now. He's not just clay, although that's his best surface.
That's right, and I think if he could just volley a bit more, when you think that he only volleyed 25 times, perhaps Coach Passos here and Kuerten could work a little bit on that, whereas Sampras, on the other hand, volleyed, well, something like 8 times more in the match, and it just takes a bit of pressure off the ground strokes, as capable as they are. It just makes the points a little bit shorter. You don't have to do as much running. So he just perhaps needs to build on a little bit more of an all-court game, which will certainly help him on faster surfaces at Wimbledon, indoors, etc.
I can tell you, of course, that in the champions race, Gustavo Kuerten will remain at 6th as a result of losing this final. Pete Sampras is at 3rd now. Sampras' towel going into the crowd, you may just have picked up. Let's hand you over to Tony Trabert.
I think you'll agree it doesn't get much better than that. Gustavo, if we could have you come forward, please.
Tony Trabert, a former Grand Slam champion himself.
Gustavo, first of all, congratulations on a fabulous match. I think you proved to everyone that you can play on this fast surface.
Well, definitely it was a great week for me. I mean, I play since the first match very well. The crowd, Brazilian crowd especially, support me so big. That was great. Obrigado. And also I had chance to at least try to beat Agassi and Sampras, but unfortunately, my game wasn't enough. And I still happy by the way I play, and just being in the first time in the final here. So it's a great feeling.
Congratulations on a fabulous match. It's now my pleasure to introduce the General Manager and Executive Vice President for Ericsson Mobile Phones, Mr. Håkan Retzel, to present the trophy to Gustavo.
Bon jogo. From Ericsson employees in 100 countries, we want to say thank you. We want to say obrigado from Brazil. Yeah, you're a hell of a guy. Thank you, congratulations.
Pete Sampras, if you'll come forward. Pete, congratulations. You were cruising along 6-1, 5-4, and all of a sudden you got in a dogfight.
I sure did. I didn't play a great game there at 5-4, and I lost a second, changed the whole course of the match. But I was having to work very hard. Gustavo was making me hit a lot of low volleys, and I was choking there at the end, to be honest with you. I was feeling my nerves a little bit, but I got through at the end.
Well, congratulations on a great effort. So, Retzel, I think you have a trophy and a comment for our champion, Pete Sampras.
Fantastic, thank you. That's the best language in the world. It's impressive. Thank you. You're the first winner of the Ericsson Open, and you're back. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, our 2000 Ericsson Open men's singles champion, Pete Sampras.